The streets have a saying, "Don't ever poke the lion unless you're ready for the claws." But it looks like King Harris didn't get the memo, and now the entire industry is shaking. What started as a family feud between T.I. and his son has just taken a turn into the danger zone, because the G-Unit mogul himself, 50 Cent, has officially entered the chat. And trust me, when 50 reacts, he doesn't just post a comment, he declares all-out war. The internet went into a literal meltdown just hours ago when King Harris, the self-proclaimed wild card of the Harris family, leaked a shocking, never-before-seen video. This wasn't just a typical Instagram live rant. This was strategic, it was messy, and it touched on some very sensitive industry secrets that involved the South's most powerful players. But the real explosion happened when 50 Cent saw the footage. Known for being the ultimate troll with a billion-dollar bank account, 50 didn't hold back. He's been watching the tension between T.I. and King for months. But this leak, this was the final straw. We're talking about leaked DMs, security footage that should have stayed buried, and a reaction from 50 Cent that is already being called the most savage move of 2026. Is King Harris trying to build his own empire by burning down his father's bridges? Or has he made the biggest mistake of his life by giving 50 Cent enough ammunition to dismantle the Harris legacy? In today's deep dive, we are breaking down every single second of that leaked video. We're looking at the hidden details you missed, the exact moment 50 decided to retaliate, and why this all-out war might change the hierarchy of hip-hop forever. Stick around, because this isn't just gossip. This is a masterclass in how one upload button can start a fire that nobody can put out. Let's get into it. To truly grasp the magnitude of why 50 Cent is currently on a digital rampage, we have to dissect the source of the chaos. The shocking video leaked by King Harris. For years, the narrative surrounding King Harris has been one of a young man desperate to step out from the colossal shadow of his father, T.I. However, the line between establishing an identity and committing a street violation is incredibly thin. And with this latest leak, King didn't just cross that line, he erased it. When he hit the upload button, he wasn't just airing out family grievances. He was exposing industry protocols that are usually kept behind triple-locked doors. The footage, which appeared to be a mix of private security recordings and heated cellular captures, showcased a side of the Harris household that the public rarely sees. It wasn't just about an argument over respect or money. It contained specific mentions of paperwork, past street affiliations, and internal disputes that involved several high-profile names in the hip-hop community. As soon as this video hit the algorithms, it caught the attention of the ultimate industry watchdog, 50 Cent. 50 Cent, the mogul behind G-Unit and the executive producer of the Power Universe, operates on a very specific set of rules. He is a student of the code of the streets, and to him, King Harris's move was the ultimate cardinal sin. 50 didn't see a misunderstood teenager reaching out for help. He saw a snitch in the making, a liability who was willing to burn down a legacy for a few hours of trending status. 50's entry into this war wasn't accidental. It was surgical. He saw the vulnerability in the Harris camp and decided that if they were going to be messy, he was going to be the one to orchestrate the cleanup or the demolition. The genius of 50's first strike lay in its simplicity. He didn't start with a long-winded video or a legal threat. Instead, he took the very footage King Harris leaked and began to recontextualize it for his millions of followers. He highlighted the moments where King looked the most erratic, adding his signature commentary that effectively turned the shocking leak into a comedy special. By doing this, 50 stripped King of his power. He made the hard-hitting evidence look like the temper tantrum of a privileged kid. His caption was a chilling reminder of who he is. "I've seen a lot of things in this game, but watching a cub try to eat the lion who fed him is a new low. The streets don't respect this. I don't respect this." As the flow of the conflict intensified, 50 began to dig deeper. He started referencing T.I.'s own history, questioning how a king of the South could allow his own castle to be dismantled from the inside. This was a classic 50 Cent move, hitting the opponent where it hurts most, their reputation. By attacking T.I.'s leadership, he forced the veteran rapper into a corner. If T.I. defended King, he looked like he was supporting a leaker. If he condemned King, he looked like a failing father. 50 created a no-win scenario for the Harris family within the first 24 hours of the war. The video leak itself acted as a catalyst for a much larger conversation about industry loyalty. Insiders began to notice that the names dropped in King's video weren't random. They were individuals with ties to old G-Unit feuds. This is why 50 Cent took it so personally. To him, this wasn't just a family feud. It was a potential breach of security for the entire industry. He began to hint that King Harris wasn't acting alone, that perhaps there were vultures in his ear, encouraging him to leak this footage to devalue T.I.'s catalog and business standing. 50's retaliation strategy moved from memes to digital dossiers. He began liking comments that suggested King Harris was a Fed or a government informant, a label that is almost impossible to scrub off in the world of hip-hop. Every time King attempted to go live to explain his side, 50 was there, either in the comments or through a repost, mocking the young man's logic. The flow of information was being controlled entirely by 50 Cent. King was reacting, but 50 was directing. What makes this so pivotal is the shift in public perception. Initially, people were shocked by the video King leaked. They were focused on the drama within the Harris family. But as 50 Cent applied more pressure, the conversation shifted toward the ethics of what King had done. 50 successfully turned the internet against the leaker. He turned a whistleblower moment into a betrayal moment. By the end of this first phase of the war, the damage to King's brand was nearly irreparable. Promoters who were looking to book him for appearances began to cancel, fearing that 50 Cent would target their venues next. This is the 50 Cent effect. He doesn't just attack you. He creates an environment where nobody wants to be associated with you. He made it clear that King Harris had violated the street code, and in 50's world, there is no redemption for that. As we conclude this first part of the breakdown, the tension is at an all-time high. King Harris is isolated, T.I. is silent, and 50 Cent is just getting warmed up. The video that was supposed to be King's declaration of independence has instead become his indictment in the court of public opinion. 50 has signaled that he has much more information waiting in the wings, information that could potentially end careers. The question now isn't what was in the video, but what 50 Cent is going to do next. He has already dominated the narrative, but as we transition into the next phase of the script, we see 50 moving from social media trolling to real-world consequences. The war is no longer just on our screens. It's affecting the bottom line. The transition from a simple social media feud to an all-out war happened the moment 50 Cent decided that mocking King Harris wasn't enough. 50 has a PhD in industry destruction, and his next move was to move from trolling to what he calls fact-checking. Established, King Harris thought he held the upper hand by leaking private footage, but we see how 50 Cent flipped the script by digging into the archives. 50 didn't just stay in the present. He went back years, pulling up old interviews, deleted posts, and obscure street rumors to paint a picture of King Harris as a manufactured rebel. This is where the flow of the conflict gets dark. 50 Cent began a series of posts he titled The Lesson of the Day. In these posts, he didn't just attack King's actions. He attacked his pedigree. 50 argued that while T.I. came from the struggle and built an empire from nothing, King was born into luxury, making his street persona not only fake but dangerous to those who are actually in the life. By highlighting the contrast between King's diamond chains and the tough guy rhetoric in the leaked video, 50 made the entire world look at King through a lens of skepticism. He effectively turned King into a caricature of a spoiled brat playing with fire. But 50 Cent's all-out war wasn't limited to character assassination. He started releasing his own receipts. 50 hinted that he had been in contact with individuals who were present during the filming of the leaked video. He began sharing cryptic screenshots of messages that suggested King Harris had edited the video to make himself look like a victim, when in reality, the full unedited footage allegedly showed a much different story. This was a masterclass in psychological warfare. By suggesting that he had the full version of the leak, 50 paralyzed King. Every time King tried to post a follow-up, he had to wonder, does 50 actually have the rest of the tape? The impact of this tactical takedown quickly spread beyond Instagram. This is where the war moved into the business sector. 50 Cent has a massive reach with sponsors and television executives, and he began tagging brands in his mockery of King. He questioned why corporate entities would want to be associated with a loose cannon, who leaks private family security footage for clout. Within 48 hours, reports started surfacing that a major reality TV guest appearance involving King was on hold. The industry started to see King Harris not as a rising star, but as a radioactive entity. If 50 Cent is your enemy, your market value drops instantly, and King was learning this the hard way. Meanwhile, the silence from the rest of the Harris family became deafening. T.I., usually the first to jump on a microphone to deliver a philosophical defense of his children, was caught in a checkmate position. 50 Cent was essentially telling T.I., "I'm doing what you couldn't do. I'm disciplining your son." This created a narrative that 50 Cent was the uncle the industry needed to set the record straight. The flow of public sympathy, which might have originally been with a young man struggling with his father, shifted entirely toward 50's tough love approach. People weren't just watching a feud. They were watching a veteran reestablish the hierarchy. 50's strategy also involved collateral damage. He didn't just stay on King. He started poking at other associates of the Harris family. He began questioning who was allowing King to act this way, implying that the entire camp was weak. This is a classic G-Unit tactic. Isolate the target by making it too expensive for anyone else to stand next to them. If you were a rapper who liked King's photo, 50 was in your DMs or your comments, asking if you stood for snitching too. It was a scorched earth policy that left King Harris standing on an island by himself. As we dive deeper into the second part of the script, we have to look at the code of silence that 50 kept mentioning. He began posting clips from his own history, reminding everyone of what happens to people who talk too much in his circle. He used the King Harris leak as a platform to remind the new generation of rappers that content is not the same as character. He mocked the YouTube generation for thinking that a viral video is more powerful than a decade of street loyalty. This wasn't just a war against King. It was a war against the modern way of doing business in hip-hop. The shocking video that King leaked started to lose its sting because 50 had replaced it with a much more compelling story. The story of a veteran kingpin putting a rebellious prince in his place. Every time King Harris tried to act tough, in response, 50 would post a picture of King as a child in a private school uniform or at a high-end birthday party. He used King's own privilege as a weapon against his street aspirations. By the end of this phase, the war had reached a fever pitch. 50 Cent wasn't just winning the internet. He was winning the industry. He had successfully turned a family crisis into a referendum on King Harris's future. The leaked video was no longer the headline. The headline was 50 Cent's masterclass in retaliation. King was left with two choices: apologize and admit he was wrong, or continue to fight a man who has never lost a public feud in 25 years. But just as it seemed like 50 had closed the book, a new development occurred. King Harris, backed into a corner and feeling the pressure of his crumbling business deals, decided to go nuclear. He claimed that the video he leaked was only 10 of what he actually had. He claimed that he had footage that would not just embarrass his family, but would actually expose 50 Cent's own involvement in certain Southern business deals. The war was no longer just about clout. It had become a game of mutual assured destruction. As we prepare to move into the final part of this script, the stakes have never been higher. Will King Harris actually drop the nuclear footage, or is he bluffing? And if he does, how far is 50 Cent willing to go to ensure that the Harris legacy and King's career is completely erased? The atmosphere in the hip-hop community reached a boiling point as the war between 50 Cent and King Harris entered its most dangerous phase. As we saw in King Harris had been backed into a corner, his reputation dismantled by 50's relentless receipt era. But a cornered animal is often the most unpredictable, and King decided to play his final card. He went on a late-night social media tirade, claiming that he possessed nuclear footage, evidence that allegedly tied 50 Cent to deep-rooted industry secrets and private conversations that were never meant for public consumption. This wasn't just about family drama anymore. It was an attempt to strike at the heart of the G-Unit empire. However, King Harris quickly learned a lesson that many before him have learned the hard way. You don't bluff a man who made a career out of surviving real-life war. 50 Cent's reaction to the nuclear threat was not one of fear, but of calculated aggression. Instead of staying quiet, 50 leaned in. He began a countdown on his social media pages, mocking King to drop it. He used his massive platform to dare the young rapper to release whatever he had, essentially calling his bluff in front of the entire world. This move was strategic. It placed the burden of proof entirely on King. By not flinching, 50 made King's nuclear threat look like a desperate cry for attention rather than a legitimate power move. As the hours passed and no nuclear video surfaced, the flow of public opinion turned even more sharply against King. The street code that 50 had been preaching throughout this war became the ultimate judge. The fans, the blogs, and even other artists began to view King's empty threats as the final proof of his clout-chasing nature. This is where 50 Cent delivered the final blow. He didn't wait for King to release something. He released a video of his own, a montage of King Harris's most contradictory moments, layered over a soundtrack of T.I.'s most legendary songs about loyalty and family. It was a masterstroke of irony. 50 was using the father's legacy to bury the son's credibility. The all-out war then moved into its final, most somber stage, the intervention. Reportedly, high-level industry veterans and mutual friends of T.I. and 50 Cent stepped in to mediate. The tension had become so high that it was threatening to spill over into physical confrontations between their respective camps. In this phase, the digital noise began to quiet down, but the damage was already done. The relationship between T.I. and 50 Cent, which had survived decades of minor friction, was now fundamentally altered. 50 had shown that he was willing to go all the way, even if it meant hurting a longtime peer through his children. But what about the legacy of the shocking video itself? When the dust finally settled, the leak that started this entire firestorm became a cautionary tale for the new generation of content creators. 50 Cent successfully framed King Harris as a warning sign, a cautionary tale of what happens when you prioritize viral moments over institutional respect. The business fallout for King was substantial. Not only were guest appearances canceled, but major streaming platforms reportedly hesitated on a developmental deal that had been in the works for the Harris family's media ventures. In the world of 2026, where your digital footprint is your currency, 50 Cent had effectively bankrupted King Harris's social capital. The flow of this war ends not with a winner in the traditional sense, but with a clear display of power. 50 Cent didn't need to release a diss track or a legal injunction. He used the internet as his courtroom and the fans as his jury. He proved that even in an era of leaks and shocks, a veteran who knows how to control the narrative will always come out on top. For T.I., the situation remained a lose-lose. Even as he eventually issued a statement calling for peace and focusing on family first, the image of his son being publicly disciplined by his rival was a stain that wouldn't easily wash away. As we wrap up this deep dive, the final takeaway is clear. King Harris tried to use the shocking video to start a revolution, but he ended up starting a war he wasn't equipped to fight. 50 Cent's all-out war was a reminder that in the music industry, information is the most dangerous weapon, and the person with the most experience using it will always have the final word. The war might have moved off the front pages of the blogs, but the lessons learned about loyalty, about the street code, and about the dangers of the upload button will resonate for years to come. King Harris remains active, but he is moving differently now. The bravado is tempered, and the leaks have stopped. 50 Cent, on the other hand, has moved on to his next target, proving once again that he is the undisputed king of industry warfare. The Harris family is left to rebuild, while the rest of the world watches and waits to see who will be foolish enough to poke the lion next. This wasn't just a feud. It was a shift in the hierarchy of power, and as always, 50 Cent is the one standing at the top, laughing last. Now, I want to hear from you. Has King Harris officially broken the unspoken code? Or is 50 Cent just being the ultimate industry bully? Do you think the Harris legacy can ever recover from this? Or is it game over? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm reading every single one of them. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and share this video with someone who needs to see the real side of the industry.